Hello, this is Dr. Lee from South Korea. Actually, I was scheduled to visit Hyderabad, India for the presentation at the Frontiers Diabetes Awareness and Research Society. But unfortunately, as you know from the newspaper these days, we in Korea very serious problem, that's the coronaviruses. So this time, I'm very regretful not to be there with you together. But instead, I will send my voice recording to the FDARS. Thank you very much. Today, my title for presentation is Beta Cell Regeneration Therapy in Taiwan Diabetes Mellitus. I am as an inventor of D&D, CEO and founder of 239 Bio Incorporated South Korea. And the D&D meaning is the diabetes and dietary. It is the abbreviation of for the diabetes patients, and regardless of the type 1 and type 2. And then the D&D, because it was scientifically proven on 30th May 2018 for regeneration of destroyed pancreatic beta cells. And then the D&D patent application is also completed in more than 20 countries around the world. And the related research results are recently published at SCI, Journal of Food Science and Nutrition, on December 11, 2019. And I think D&D will be kind of paradigm shift for the medical history because the remarkable recoveries from the fatal diseases of type 1 diabetes, because we don't need any more of the medications, and then insulin injections and insulin pumps, and then there'll be no suffering from the complications, and then also it'll be quite effective for prevention of diabetes, and then no more hypoglycemia at night. This is my company headquarters. It was opened 6 months ago, and the D&D mass production will be possible from this year. And it will be distributed around the world and the domestic. This is the father of medicine, Hippocrates. The glass B is the same with me. And let thy food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. We have the same culinary cuisine. Type 1 diabetes, as you know, insulin dependent and juvenile diabetes, and non-curable and chronic condition because the pancreas produces little or no insulins. Most of you, as an expert, you are in the field of endocrinology, cardiology, and nephrology. So how many of you will be agreeing with my regeneration of beta cells? Is it possible or not? So at the end of my presentation, please say and tell them about regeneration possible or still be irreversible. But I could say strongly, D&D, finally, we made it, and curable, reversible, and regenerated. For the animal trials, streptozotocin induced 180 type 1 diabetes rats were experimentally used, and then the results showed good results for the dosage dependent with the D&D level, lower and middle and higher dosages. And then the body weight, food intake, water intake, fasting glucose, and insulin tolerance test, ITT, and the HbA1c and C-peptide for the regeneration of the beta cell, and then insulin secretion and then its area, and then the side effects for liver and kidney, and then the Western blotting protein expression changes were analyzed, such as BCL2, PAX, cleaved caspase 3, PAKT, AKT, mTOR, PAKT-AKT ratio, and insulin and beta-actin protein expression changes. This is the published journal at Food Science and Nutrition on December 11th, 2019, under the title of this glucose lowering impact of Grillus bimaculatus powder on streptozotocin-induced diabetes through the AK-mTOR pathway. This is the figures for the fasting glucose level And this is for the DND1, this is DND2, DND3. Actually, for the type 1 diabetes patients, I made 3 materials for DNDs. DND1 is the 100% of edible insects, and the DND2 is natural ingredients, total whole grains. And the DND3 is the combination of those DND1 and DND2. And then all 3, those figures show the great fasting glucose level. It is quite effective for the type 1 diabetes. This is the IP glucose tolerance test. And then this is DND1, DND2, DND3. And then the difference here, this is the vehicle for the diabetes. This is vehicle diabetes. And then with the increase of the DND amount of feeding to the animals, it showed the good result here, like this. And then actually we can differentiate the this one and the vehicle groups and then DND groups. This is the ITT with the same result of the IPGTT, and this ITT glucose level is quite good for the effectiveness of the DND against the type 1 diabetes. Because this is the vehicle here, like this, DND2, and the DND3 vehicle. And then all 3 those 3 figures are quite good, dependent. This figure shows the effect of DND mixture and DND plus mixture on C-peptide and insulin in acid-induced type 1 diabetic rat. Both figures, left side C-peptide and right side insulin, both figures shows the good positive efficacy against the diabetic rats. And the next one is the histological analysis for the pancreatic beta cells. Those are control groups. And then with the streptozotocin induced, and then this is for DND1, this is DND2, this is DND3. And those lines are lower dosage of DND, and the middle and the higher dosages. As you see, this one lower is from the destroyed pancreatic beta cell is getting larger, and then nearly size of normal. And then for the DND2, same trend we have here. The lower and the middle and the higher level of dosages. And then for the DND3, as you see, from here, starting here like this, and getting larger. So we can say the regeneration beta cell destroyed by the streptozotocin induced. And then also together with the insulin level, this is the control groups. And then with the streptozotocin, insulin is nearly nothing. But for the DND, as you see, DND1 is getting larger. And then for the DND2, same phenomena. And the DND3 has the same trend we have here. So as you see, the beta cell and the insulin secretion is getting better and then improved. And then as you see this here, the total area of islet, this is the streptozotocin. And then for the DND1, DND2, and DND3. And then this is the 1.63, and then this is a double, and then double. And then as you see, the insulin total islet area is getting increased. So I can say DND is quite dosage dependent against the diabetic rat. And then even if we have the quite good results from the experiment, we have to check out the side effects. So those figures shows from the liver effect of the liver tissues that have been negatively affected by diabetes. So we didn't find any side effects from the liver. And next one is from the kidney. Kidney tissues, it is negatively affected by diabetes. So we can say, and then the efficacy against the diabetes type 1, and then there is no side effects at all. These figures BCL2, MPEX, and caspase 3 protein expression changes in the diabetic rat.
And then this is the BCL2. This is BAX, cleaved caspase 3, and beta-actin. And then streptozotocin induced, and those are streptozotocin plus D&D dosages. And then this is the for BCL2 here. This is the streptozotocin induced, and then the increase of BCL2. And then this is the BAX. This is the streptozotocin, and then the decrease of the BAX. And then this one is cleaved caspase 3. And then this is streptozotocin, and then it reduced. And next one is another PAKT and mTOR expression. As you see, this is quite greatly increased, and then the insulin too. And then this one is another protein expression too. And then all those three figures, mTOR and then pmTOR, and then every figure shows they are quite good results against the diabetic batch. This is the figures, international activities I did in D&D. Last year in Delhi, Dr. Baswal I met at the Ministry of Health and Welfare in the Indian government, and then Kanpur at the general hospitals, and then Jabalpur with Dr. Ashish Dengra, and then I presented about the D&D at the NDID, and then the Abu Dhabi and Kanpur, and then Philadelphia, USA, and then the Dubai, UAE, and then Helsinki, Finland, and then this was Abu Dhabi, and then Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and then including Tokyo, Japan, and South Korea at the National Assembly in South Korea government. So nearly 10 times presentation I did around the world. This is actually last year activities in India, but it was reported in the Hindi newspaper 2019. But I don't know exactly about what the suggestion or the description about me, because it is written in Hindi. For more clinical trials in the abroad, I made a memorandum of understanding signing ceremony for collaboration on the clinical trials between Professor Jaakko Tuomileto, Faculty of Medicine, Department of Public Health, University of Helsinki, Finland, and I. Last month, not 2019, it was misprinted. 2020, last month, 21st, in Helsinki, Finland, we made our MOU at the University of Helsinki. And Professor Jaakko Tuomileto, actually he was nominated as Nobel Prize for Medicine last year, 2019. And his article is more than 1,700, and his citation index was more than 150,000, and then H index is 175, according to the Thomson and Reuters last year. And then actually, Dr. Jaakko, he is the leader in the diabetes and cardiovascular and dementia. And then he's leading our D&D clinical trials in the world too. And actually, Dr. Paras, secretary of this conference, and Dr. Ashish Dengra from Jabalpur, and Dr. Rajesh Jain from Kanpur, and Dr. Hima from Bengaluru, they already joined to our D&D group for more collaboration on this. And then so all of you are the experts in this endocrinology and cardiovascular and in the nephrology. Would you join to our D&D group for more clinical trials and then the international collaborations? I hope so. And then the human trials here in Korea, more than 100 patients from 50 hospitals and clinics. And then we did already very successfully, but it doesn't matter what type of diabetes, type 1 or the type 2. or the medications or the insulin pump or insulin injections. And then the maximum insulin injection patients, I experienced more than 120 units a day. But rapidly, their insulin injection was reduced by the months, and then nearly half of the insulin is gone after just 1 month of D&D food supplement, and then nearly 3 or 4 months later, their insulin injections reduced nearly less than a half. And it was quite successful for most of the diabetes patients too. And then here I will say about the clinical case reports, 5 cases. And then here, this is the 55 years male and detected to have T1 after diagnosed T2D, suffered nearly for more than 20 years. And his complications were retinopathy 4 times of surgery and diplopia, so he cannot work straightforwardly. And the hearing impairment, his decibel was more than 98 decibels. And then his whole teeth loss and myocardial infarction and hemiparalysis. And then when he was diagnosed as type 1, his C-peptide was 0.19. And then insulin injection, he used the pump, and then 50 units per day. And then HbA1c is more than 11. And then TG, triglyceride, was 400. But he is now normalized after D&D food supplement for just 1.5 years. Think about 20 years of suffering from the diabetes. And then no insulin injection now needed. And then the 2 years passed now. So no problem at all, no complications anymore. And then his C-peptide is in a normal range, 1.16. And then his HbA1c is 5.4. And then insulin secretion is normal. And then his fasting and PP2, blood glucose is normalized. So every complication's gone. He suffered more than 10 complications. And then this is the case 2. She's the 14 years old girl and diagnosed to have type 1 diabetes and suffered from diabetes for 2 years before D&D meeting. And her complications, serious hypoglycemia during the day and night, and had to go emergency. And then her C-peptide was 1.7 with DKA, the diabetic ketoacidosis, and the insulin injection 4 times a day, and then 30 units daily. And then HbA1c is more than 16, and her anti-GABA was quite higher, 57. As you know, the normal is less than 0.7. And then, but after D&D treatment, she is getting normalized, and then without insulin with the D&D food supplement for 6 months, and then no insulin injection needed, and then her C-peptide is normal, and the HbA1c is a little bit higher, and then insulin secretion is 24. But her the only problem for her is anti-GABA. Her anti-GABA was quite higher than normal. But even the GABA is getting lower from 57 to 36. But the FBG and PP2BG is slightly higher because of the GAD. Even the C-peptide and HbA1c is getting normalized, but the only problem, her GAD level is higher, so there's the a little bit a problem for her to overcome her diabetes. This is case 3, 24 years old male. His complications were unintended weight loss, nearly 20 kg reduced, and the frequent urination at night and extreme hunger and fatigue every morning. His fasting blood glucose was more than 400, and the C-peptide is 0.5, and then his insulin injection was more than 60 units daily, and then HbA1c was more than 12, and then it is horribly higher, the TG, it is more than 1,400. Can you think of this? But actually now he is normalized after D&D put just in 58 days, and then with exercise too. And then 3 times as alternative meal, the D&D I mean, and then no insulin injection needed right now, and then 180 days without insulin, so no problems at all. And then his FVG is below 110, and then PP2 is around 100 through 130. Now, this is case 4, 19 years old girl, DKA patient, and then her complications were severe hypoglycemia, and then frequent urination, and hunger, and fatigue. But her fasting was 364, and then C-peptide 0.9, insulin injection 60 units per daily, but the HbA1c was more than 13, and then her anti-JDAB was 19. But she is now normalized after D&D put in just 58 days, and then no insulin injection needed, but her only enemy is cravings for food. And then the fasting blood glucose level was 89 through 110, and PP2 is normal. Even anti-JDAB normal, 0.5 from 19, because nobody believes this anti-JDAB is getting normalized. I think for type 1 diabetes patients, if they experience the DKA and then the JDAB, even their C-peptide and insulin secretion is normal, but the problem of her anti-JD or the DKA is not stabilized. I think it'll be a recurrence of the diabetes again. And then, but the only one problem, she is now 19 years old, so during the menstrual period, her blood glucose level is slightly higher. And then this is the last one, the 7-year-old girl diagnosed when she was 3 years old. And the complications in the hypoglycemia and the urination and hunger, fatigue. Her fasting was 169 and PP2 was 327. And the insulin injection level was 27 through 35 days per day. And then HbA1c level was 7%. And the C-peptide is below 0.01. This is the worst case for the type 1 diabetes, very fatal disease, I think. And then the sharp reduction of insulin from 27 just to 6 units right now, right after D&D feeding. So the only her problem is growth hormone effect. So the slightly higher at dawn. Every type 1 diabetes patient experience the dawn phenomena. And the recovery in this lowest C-peptide level will be finished nearly in 2 years. She's now in 11 months of D&D feeding. So for her, it'll be 1 more year take to be cured. So D&D from my company 239 Bio. So I hope the no more suffering from diabetes and its complications to 500 million people around the world. Thank you very much.